Want to find the number one reason why your child may have plateaued or seen little to no progress so far in PT and OT and is getting further behind in their motor milestones? Maybe they're struggling to sit up, crawl, or walk despite months of traditional movement therapies. Do they seem to fatigue easily, slouch constantly, and avoid physical activity altogether? Well, if this sounds familiar, parents, you are not alone. Many parents are left frustrated and confused when their child's gross motor delays continue to be a challenge, even after countless therapy sessions and all of the at-home exercises. But what if we told you that the root cause of your child's challenges might be something that's often overlooked by traditional pediatric therapies? The real root cause of gross motor delays in kids, it goes way beyond low tone and a weak core, and we'll break down exactly what that is in today's video. So this video is for parents of children with gross motor delays who've tried the traditional therapies but just haven't seen lasting results and are still seeking answers as to why their child has plateaued or become stuck with their progress, and they want to learn how to get it back on track. So in this video, we'll dive into the crucial role of the brainstem and the neurospinal system in gross motor development, and how something called subluxation and sympathetic dominance can be the root cause of gross motor challenges, low tone, a weak core, and so much more. So I'm excited to get talking about this one with you guys, but first I'm going to share a story about my little buddy Hudson, who is a now 2-year-old little guy who came to us originally at 6 months old, seeking some help with just daily challenges associated with low tone. He had a traumatic birth, he had feeding challenges, and chronic constipation. But what really caught our attention immediately were his significant gross motor delays and struggles. So Hudson's mom shared with us originally that he was doing all of the early intervention PT exercises, but just was not gaining any ground with those developmental milestones. And she was right, like most moms are, and at this point she even started to doubt whether his gross motor function would ever be normal or on the regular growth curve. So Hudson initially struggled to bring his arms forward and to press up to begin that crawling motion. But once we were able to release that neurological tension in his upper neck and his back, that arm motion came online and he was off and crawling. And later in his initial care plan, he started to pull to a stand, but even when he did, he took up this wide, uneven, kind of clunky stance to make up for his lack of stability. And his tone had improved significantly by this point, but we were still battling some confusion in his nervous system. So fast forward to today, and you'll find Hudson cruising our halls and saying hi to all of his other friends, getting adjusted, all without his AFOs or without his walker. It truly is incredible. This kiddo's crushing it. So parents, these gross motor skills and the order in which they develop are so important. They involve movements that require the entire body for development, and they're essential for daily activities and future development. So they involve primarily the large muscle groups, things like the arms, the legs, and the core, but way too often a foundational and crazy important set of nerves and muscles are left off the list when it comes to gross motor skills and development, and it's those of the neck and the neurospinal system. So gross motor development, it occurs in phases and stages, and one of the first milestones that needs to occur is head and neck control in order for latching, nursing, and so forth to happen effectively. Next, after that, the trunk and the entire thoracic cage begins to activate, allowing for tummy time and learning to roll over side to side. This then paves the way for the core to activate, and that's required for the child to sit up unsupported, not with the use of bumbos or boppies. So next, they learn to army crawl and then cross crawl. Yes, there's 2 types of crawling that you want to see them do. First on their belly and then up on hands and knees. And despite the CDC removing crawling from his list of normal developmental milestones, it is absolutely essential for brain development, which we'll discuss shortly. And then finally, they learn to furniture cruise and then walk. So the nervous system, specifically our neurospinal system, plays a crucial role in gross motor function, and it's easily the most overlooked aspect of this entire conversation. And the very first thing to develop in utero is the brainstem and the spinal cord, because from the first moments of life, the brain and central or autonomic nervous system will control every single muscle movement, heartbeat, breath, food digestion, and so forth. Therefore, if we're trying to get to the root cause of any neuromuscular or gross motor problem, we can't focus solely on the muscles. We've got to address the neuro part first and foremost, and that's where PT and OT often fall short, because they can't quite access and improve central nervous system function in the same way that neurologically focused chiropractic adjustments can. So, once subluxation and sympathetic dominance, or that increased tone, sets up shop in the neck and the neurospinal system, it takes some effort and some consistency to clear it all out. And oftentimes that tension is triggered by things like breech positioning or birth interventions like forceps use, vacuum extraction, induction, or C-sections. And that hyper or high tone will stay stuck in those stressed out or injured regions until they're adjusted and cleared out completely. This means that the original root cause of low tone or a weak core is actually tension and subluxation elsewhere in the neurospinal system, which we can actually find and detect on our examination and analysis through some insight scans, and in particular the EMG scan that we run here in the office. So if your child's been struggling with gross motor delays and you feel like you've tried everything without lasting results, it's time to look deeper and find out if subluxation, excessive sympathetic tone, and things like the lasting effects of birth trauma could still be at play for your kid. So to find out how your child's gross motor function is doing down to the very core, visit the link in our bio or call our office to learn more about our neurological insight scans and how they can reveal that real root cause of gross motor challenges in your kiddo. Once we have those scans, you guys, we can then create a truly customized and fully tailored adjusting care plan made just for your child, and finally get them past that plateau or stuck point and back on track with their gross motor development.